here. I'm the president of the committee, and as such, I wanted to be, they asked me to review the goals of the committee and or the organization. So I represent the board, which is all of the committee members and all the board members, and just wanted to let you guys know, hey, what is it that we're really thinking, what's on our mind, what would we like to do? Obviously, our number one top priority is to fund and complete Jack Jones Memorial Complex Phase 2 and Phase 3, which would take us all the way through all of the fields, and I didn't even mention walking trails, and it is a park in addition to a baseball complex, so we do want citizens who don't necessarily play baseball to be able to go up there and use it for general recreation. We'd like to establish that park as a premier location for tournaments. We'd like to bring back adult softball programs, just for fun stuff. This was very popular some time ago, and it seemed to go away. One of the reasons was there's fewer and fewer places to play. So we really want to try to help bring recreational opportunity to the area. The reason for the tournament location is that is a possible revenue source. If we can host tournaments to bring in money to maintain the park, that's less we have to do unless we have to go to the community board to help us maintain and upkeep the park. We do want to create the area's first youth soccer program. We've all seen this, and I think probably all of us on the committee have been approached at one time or another by some parents that, hey, when are you guys going to do something for soccer? It certainly is on our list. We see it as probably the next potential thing for this area. There isn't a program. Most of the parents that do this today take their kids to another town. So whether it is land at or near the Jack Jones complex, or maybe it's land somewhere completely different that we may either acquire a grant for acquisition, or maybe somebody will donate. That's a goal of ours, is to create a soccer program and a place to play soccer. That obviously has to roll right into, we'd love to be able to acquire additional resources. Maybe once all of this is done, we can go after an acquisition grant and buy a piece of property to put that soccer field in. And then, obviously, big dreams here, but looking down the road, we'd like to see a recreation center. We have nothing like this in our area. You typically have to get into your Rose Cities or your Sharons before you can even have a tax base to provide such a thing. So if it's at all possible, this is something we'd like to bring to the community as a recreation center. This could be used to aid in sports practice in the wintertime. I don't know about you guys, I have 3 young daughters, and they're cooped up inside all winter long. I would love to have somewhere for them to go and expend some of that energy and do it in possibly a sports environment. So those are our goals, our pipe dreams, if you will. We're not dreaming so much that it takes us off course. We know what our priorities are and what we're going to be doing, but those are the sort of things that we think this association can hopefully bring to the community. So the question is, are you guys willing to be a part of WE? We've really explained, I think, very well, all the committee members, what it is we're doing and why we're doing it, why we're here. It wasn't our idea. It's the community asked us to represent the community and do this for us, for WE. So are you guys willing to be a part of that? And if you don't mind, I'm just going to close it up. This is something you might have heard before. I just kind of wanted to give a thank you to everybody who's helped us out, and to all of the board members and the committee members, and read this short passage. This is a poem. The original author is unknown, so I can't get the credit. It's not mine. But this is about volunteers, and it says, many will be shocked to find, when the day of judgment nears, that there's a special place in heaven set aside for volunteers, furnished with big recliners, satin couches, and footstools, where there are no committee chairmen, no yard sales or rest area copies to serve, no library duty or bulletin assembly. There will be nothing to print or staple, not one thing to fold or mail. Telephone list will be outlawed, but a finger snap will bring cool drinks and gourmet dinners and rare treats fit for a king. You ask, who will serve these privileged and work for all their worth? Why, all those who reap the benefits and not once volunteered on earth. I thought that was just a nice way to say thanks. Thank you guys for coming out. We do appreciate the support. It certainly means a lot to us to know that people are still there and still want us doing this. So at this point, I'll open it back up to any questions or comments. Maybe from Diane, you're here representing Ms. Brooks. I know she couldn't make it. Any comments from Ms. Brooks?
Sure. I am here representing Michelle Brooks. She was in Harrisburg today at a committee meeting, is on her way back, hoping she'd make it, but I just got a phone call from her saying she's not going to. The weather kind of delayed her a little bit. But she did want to congratulate you in receiving the grant. She knows very, very much how hard work it is and how tedious work it is, and you guys just kept pursuing and didn't give up. But she congratulates you on that. And also this progress. We were here, I think last year at this time, and just seeing the progress you've made is just exceptional. And if there's anything that she can do, she's here to support you. Thank you.
Extend our thanks. Thank you. Any other questions?
How far along do you guys think you're going to get on phase one with the money you have? Or are you going to be able to complete it or start it? Or
Our intention at this point is to complete phase one. Doing a rough assessment here a couple weeks ago, we do have a budget shortfall of monetary value. However, we're not overly concerned with that yet. We have, obviously, all of the in-kind services donated by yourself and other persons that's going to get us along. Obviously, there's some costs that are associated with that, and that's where the grant monies will help allocate. Our goal is to finish it, and we're pretty confident that we're going to be able to finish phase one. Wherein and how fast will kind of depend on some of the additional help in this capacity. For example, I know one of the donations that hasn't been set in stone that was talked about was possibly Wheatland 2 being able to donate all the stainless steel pipe for the fencing. You know, if that happens, we currently have X amount of dollars in that grant budget to buy fencing, and if that does happen, now we don't have to spend that money on fencing. We can apply that money somewhere else. So I believe, and don't quote me on this because I didn't look these numbers over before we came up here, but I think we had several to maybe a $10,000 shortfall in what we thought we needed in monetary value. But again, that could be swayed by other potential services. It depends also a little bit on the companies who are donating the excavation aren't necessarily donating an endless amount of excavation. They've all committed to a certain amount of time. We hope the final rough or the rough grading will get completed in that time, and or some other persons may still donate. But if in the end they've exhausted what they were willing to give us a donation and we're still sitting there unfinished, then we of course would have to allocate funds to that. So does that answer the question? Almost like a politician, not a yes.
Do you have any more? I mean, do you have any more? I know you said the grants you can't do anything else for 08. You're pretty much done for grant money for 08.
Yeah, what happens is and we didn't realize this at first. We were overly optimistic in thinking that once we got a first grant, we would just apply for the second.